Hey guys, looks like we're live. I'm gonna get this shared over in the craft social. We're making a pretty card today that focuses on some of the brand new colors from the 2018-2019 catalog. I'm really excited. This beautiful Sympathy card. We're gonna make this one today. I'm gonna show you some other samples that are pretty similar. And these are the cards we made at Coffee and a Card. So let me get this shared and I'll be ready to get started then. All right, so this is the card that I'm gonna make today. I did Coffee and a Card Wednesday and I did a Stamper's Choice, which was something a little bit different. My sales are a little bit low. I don't know if I'm gonna make the Stampin' Up incentive trip for 2019 to the Greek Isles. I did make the Alaska incentive trip and we leave in 29 days for Alaska. So thank you so much to all of my customers and my team. I couldn't do it without you guys and I'm very, very grateful. But as it stands right now, my team's in a little bit of a jumble and my sales are just a little bit out of reach for the Greek Isles trip. So I was asking my customers for a little bit of help to maybe reach that trip. And see, the thing is, I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. I don't want to make the first incentive trip and then not the second one in my career with Stampin' Up. I think it would break my heart. But what would really comfort me is that knowing that I did the best that I could. I shook things up and I did what I could to reach the incentive trip. So even if I come close, I'll be happy knowing that I tried something new and I really pushed for it. So what we did for Coffee and a Card to try something new, push for it, shake it up a little bit, is usually Coffee and a Card is one card and coffee or cocoa or tea, and we socialize and we craft and we have a good time. It's free with an order or $5. But what I decided to do this time was offer kind of a stepped idea. And so if you came to Coffee and a Card and you wanted to make the card, it was $5 or free with any order. But if your order reached $40, then you could make 2 of the cards. And if your order exceeded $60, then you could make 3 of the cards. So here's a birthday card that I did. I offered it in either Pool Party or Petal Pink. And then we had this Thinking of You card as one of the choices. And then this Sympathy card that we're going to make today. So there's all of the cards for Coffee and a Card. They were inspired by the Stampin' Success magazine. Demonstrators are treated every quarter to a awesome magazine from Stampin' Up, and these were inspired from that magazine, and they worked out perfectly for Coffee and a Card. So I think the ladies enjoyed the new arrangement where they could choose more than one card based on their orders. And then I also had said that anybody who did not have an order for me, that was fine too. They could pay the $5 for one card, or they could make all 3 cards for $15. So it worked out pretty good, and it did. I shook things up. So that's what these cards are from. We're gonna make this one. Oh, before I go, I said to some of the girls that were at Coffee and a Card that I would do this. So this Always Thinking of You card, inside it says, "Your kindness means so much more than you'll ever know," and that's the inside of that one. And then the Happy Birthday card. Happy birthday on the outside. And inside, "Hope your day brings just what it should, happiness, health, and everything good." So that's the inside of that one. Hi, Brenda. Kay says, "All beautiful cards, thank you." Gina says, "Darling." Oh, I love it. Dolores says, "Wow, Alaska, that's great." Marissa, you could not be a one-hit wonder. You have so much talent. I think you're hit several times over. Thank you, Dolores. I'm really struggling with this because the sales that I need for the next 3 months are just more than I've done in my career. And my team's a little weird right now. Like people are leaving and it happens. So I've got to really do it on my sales if I'm going to do it. So I've got to change things up a little bit and offer something else, So we're offering those incentive things. You can make cards when you place orders. And so here's the one that we're going to make today with Sympathy, and inside, "Praying that your heart will be lifted by the many loving thoughts that surround you today." So that's that. Let me show you the Stampin' Up supplies that you need to make this card. I'm going to start with the Stampin' pads because my focus is kind of on those new colors. So new colors, Petal Pink, We're going to use Granny Apple Green, a little bit of soft seafoam, and then joining the new colors are soft suede and so saffron. Those are existing colors. And then an oldie but goodie, I've got my Painted Harvest stamp set here. This is from the last holiday catalog. I thought I used it so much for Thanksgiving and fall. It'd be nice to give it a nice spring touch. So we're bringing an oldie but goodie to all those new colors, making it look brand new again. My inside-outside sentiment greeting came from the Flourishing Phrases. This is another oldie but goodie. If you don't have Flourishing Phrases, I highly recommend it. It's got lots of great inside and outside greetings. We used the With Sympathy and Praying Your Heart Will Be Lifted by Many Loving Thoughts That Surround You today. But there's marriage, there's congratulations and thank you, and then just a note, I love you, lots of inside-outside pairs, and then of course the beautiful vine and flower. So those are our stamp sets. I'm using my Taylor Tag Punch, which somehow got very messy. Oh well, right? It's earning its keep. Let's see, I think I covered everything here. I've got my Consumable Supplies. And I wanted to show you, we're using the Subtle 6x6 Designer Series paper for these cards, but I love my paper sampler. If you haven't checked it out, kitchentablestamper.com/samplers. In the paper sampler, you get a quarter of a package of everything, which is really cool because you get a quarter of a package of the 2018-2020 in colors, you get a quarter of a package of the 2017-2019 in colors, package of the Regal 6x6. This is a quarter package, neutrals 6x6, and you get a quarter package of the subtles 6x6 in the sampler, which means that when you get the paper sampler, you literally have Designer Series paper for every single Stampin' Up color. So whenever you're in a pinch, there's something for everybody in that paper sampler. So we're going to use the subtles, and I chose this like tone-on-tone polka dot stripe. I got a polka dot here, so we're going to use the stripe side this time. And this is 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4. It'll be on the project sheet, and the project sheet will include the measurements for all of the 3 cards that you saw and a supply list. Then I've got a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, soft seafoam, and a couple of pieces of Whisper White. So for inside the card, we have 5 1/4 by 4, and that'll be for our beautiful inside design. And then for the outside, this one is 4 1/4 by I Forget. Hold on, I'll tell you. How do you like my measurement? 4 1/4 by I Forget. Very accurate, right? By 3.5. And then 1 1/4 inch wide scrap of Whisper White. It can be any length as long as it's about 3.5 wide. We're going to use that for our greeting. We're going to cut off the ends. So it needs to be at least about 3.5 to get the greeting in there, but 1 1/4 wide. All right, so let's get started stamping here. I am going to run a special for this weekend. Anybody watching that on the live or on the replay that places an order through my online store will receive one of each of these cards in the mail from me. So you'll receive this one, and either this birthday card or this birthday card. And you just have to use the host code to do that. And I'll put that host code right on the or the description of this video on Facebook, but it's also on kitchentablestamper.com if you look in the right hand margin. But the host code right now is 6YQE7DV4. So place any order. Let's say $50 or more using that host code on my web store, and I will send you one of each of these cards as a thank you gift. It'll help me to push towards that incentive trip for this year. And let's get started. We'll do our stamping first. That means I need a Stampin' Pierce mat, and I need some scratch paper to cover it because we're going to do lots of stamping off of the edge. So here's our Stampin' Pierce mat. Let me get my ink pads in here. I'm going to open all but my soft suede right now. We'll go and kind of do our sentiments last. Keep it manageable. All right, you guys, I should have printed up that host code and put it in the picture. Usually when I'm offering an incentive with a host code, I print it up, but I will make sure that it's right on the description of the video on Facebook if you're interested in getting some of these cards as a thank you gift for your order. I'll extend the offer through the whole weekend. So if Sunday by, say, midnight Central Time, you place an order, use the host code, you're going to get some cards as a thank you gift. All right, let's see here. I want to start with my little flower image, and we've got two parts here. We've got one that's fuller. We've got one that's a little bit more detailed, and it's more narrow. And if you notice, the characteristics inside the petals here are different. You can see that there's kind of a flatter side. There's kind of a rounder side on this one. See, I got it upside down. Let's do it this way because then they're both the same. So you got this kind of flatter side here, rounder side. There's a big kind of bulge, a big lump right here. That's what I use to line these up. I actually look at the characteristics of the inside of the flower image, and that's how I layer them. You're going to stamp these both full strength, one on top of the other. And when you do, that's what's going to give you this beautiful petal pattern. Let me show you the first one here. Let me see, where's my sample? I should get that in here so you can see what we're working on. There. That's pretty well in the picture. All right, so we're going to stamp our first layer, and we want it kind of going off the edge a little bit in the upper right. And you see it doesn't exactly, flip, pretend like you didn't see that. Shh, don't tell. All right, we'll try that again. We won't wiggle this time. So I'll just make our impression, and you see, here's the first step. Here's the first and second step combined. That second step stamping really brings the details for the flower. All right, but I'm going to go and I'm just going to keep going with this first step here. I'm going to stamp another one, almost touching. We're kind of diagonal. And then I'm also going to pull in this piece for the inside of the card, and we're going to go ahead and stamp off the sides a little bit here and put two inside the card. And do it all at once while I've got the image in my hand. It'll make everything go a little bit quicker. Oh, you guys didn't see that either. What is up with me? See, now for my first attempt at stamping the inside of the card. Oh my goodness. There. Now, what we're going to do now is use those characteristics inside the center here. And if you can look here, you'll see that this side's rounded, this is flat, and here's kind of our, what is that? It kind of comes to almost a point. I don't know. It's an abstract, but it's not a perfect circle. Rhonda says, I didn't think I liked that stamp set too much. After seeing you use it, I love it. And Gina says, we all do it. No worries. Thank you. You guys are the best stamping buddies a girl could have. All right, so I'm going to line those up. It's not going to be perfect, but if you follow the general shape where it's a little bit flatter, a little bit rounder, you'll get a nice flower. Now, see the difference between the two? Step one and two. It's really beautiful. I think that maybe you didn't love the stamp set because it was portrayed so fall for so long. But now that it's stuck around in another catalog, it's starting to take on a little bit of a spring feel. And it definitely can. It's a stamp set that's good for all seasons. All right, we got to do that a couple more times on the front of the card. And let's see here. Again, I'm kind of lining up so we've got that little area that kind of bulges out, and that's right here. So we're gonna use that as our primary, and then we're gonna make sure that you can see right through the center there. So it does make it pretty easy. And the other thing is if you're off a little bit, the center flout, when you stamp the center, it's really forgiving. So it's not difficult to get this beautiful kind of layered floral image. All right, so speaking of the center, let's do that one next so you can really see how it completes. And it doesn't matter if your centers are a little bit off of center. So we're going to stamp off and then stamp in. This is with So Saffron. And the same thing, it's got kind of a round top and a flat bottom. We're lining up those characteristics as we stamp. And one more time. Look how beautiful those are. Aren't they great? All right, now another new color. We're going to get the Granny Apple Green and this kind of fern-shaped leaf. And we want to tuck the fern-shaped leaf in so that when we put our Sympathy sentiment, it's going to cover the mess that we're about to make. So we're going to stamp one leaf here, and then we want a shorter leaf here. And look at the jumble there, but don't worry because our sentiment is going to cover that up. So there's the front of our card. Set that aside, and while we're on Granny Apple Green and ferns, let me show you what I did inside. Keep elbowing my new lamp. It's crazy. So we're going to stamp that a few times on the inside too. So we're going to do kind of off the top. And we'll come up this way, here, just filling in this corner a little bit. All right, so there's all of our ferns. And the last little step, the stamp set comes with this little dot pattern. Rhonda, one of the regular attendees at my Coffee and a Card, said that she likes the set and it's on her next list for her next order, but she'd like to have this little image right now because it's so handy and so useful. So you see that I'm just going in and adding a little bit of varied shades of green there. It really does kind of bring the greenery to life. So there's the inside of our card. We'll hold that for a second for the sentiment. Now let me get this guy back in here. We're going to do a couple of these little like sprigs, these little dots. They're almost like baby's breath or little filler leaves. But I like the way that it brings the softer green color. All right, I think that's good. Looks good to me. All right, now we're done with our floral stamping. We've done the inside and the outside of our card. Let's do our greetings. So I'm going to switch to soft suede. Terry says hello and Darlene says hi. Hello, ladies. I'm stamping a Sympathy card that's part of a set class that we did on Wednesday at Coffee and a Card. And I'll show you the other three again in just a minute for anybody who's joining us a little bit later. All right, so let's get soft suede in our greeting. Again, anybody who is interested in placing an order, I am going to send one of each of the 3 cards from this set as a thank you gift. So if you place an order anytime this weekend between now and Sunday at midnight Central Time, I will send you one of each of these cards. I have a bunch of them made. I'm already ready for you. I'm doing a push to get my sales up so that I can hopefully make the 2019 incentive trip. All right. Praying that your heart will be lifted by the many loving thoughts that surround you today. Isn't that beautiful? And our outside greeting with Sympathy is going to go on a banner piece here. This is 1 1/4 wide. It can be as long as you want, as long as it's about 3 inches long. Because we are going to, in just a second, use our Taylor Tag Punch to turn it into a banner. So here's the banner that we're making. And I love this punch. If you look underneath, you've got this banner shape top and then 2 parallel lines inside. And that's going to allow you to make a perfect little banner cut on the end of all of your strips up to about 2¼ inches wide. What I like to do is put it in so that I can see the end of my greeting and then back it out as much as I imagine necessary. And then I like to keep my banner pieces in line with these two perpendiculars inside the punch. Makes it pretty easy to get. Somebody was trying to call me. Are you guys still there? Somebody say something if you're still there. I'll keep on banner punching here. But give me a comment, maybe some thumbs up or something if you're still there. As if everybody doesn't know I'm on Facebook Live this time of day. Oh, good. Yay. Gina says we're here, and I see some hearts and thumbs. All right. I'll keep stamping then. So there's our With Sympathy banner. And I love to say that this $18 punch is not a unitasker. You can definitely do more than just the tailored tag, although the tailored tag is enough. But now you've also got a banner punch too that goes any width up to about 2¼ maybe 2 inches. So two tasks from one tool means it costs half as much, right? I don't know if you guys do your math that way, but I sure do. All right, so there's our pieces. Let me grab a little piece of grid paper here. It'll make it easier lining up that strip of paper. Again, I totally blame it on the weather. I would have had a piece of grid paper closer if I was thinking straight, but this gray weather is just killing me. All right, so grid paper is going to make this process a little bit easier. I'm going to actually take the front of my card and my designer series paper, and I'm going to adhere them together, making one piece, and that's going to look much better if I use my grid to make sure it's straight. So here's our white baker's twine. Dolores says it's called creative math. I justify my purchases like that. See? I don't know if it's justification or what it is, but I'm telling you, it's true fact that punch cost half as much when you can do twice as much with it. Sally says she's here. Okay, you guys are all still here. That's awesome. Feel free to share this video if you've got crafty friends that might be interested. That would also be awesome help for Kitchen Table Stamper. And to reach more crafters is definitely a good thing. So if you're comfortable sharing with your crafty friends, just hit share. I love that. All right, so we've just tied a little piece of white baker's twine around the panel. It's a little bit low of center. And we're gonna take some snail adhesive. Well, multi-purpose liquid glue is jumping out of the basket, but I'm going snail. And we're gonna run it right along the edge of our floral panel. And I'm gonna take my stripe piece and I'm gonna line it up so that it's inside. You know what, this side looks a little smoother. So that it's inside one parallel. So it's, you know what, I'm actually gonna move it up so that it's the horizontal line is this darker line, and then it's nice and straight along the vertical line. And once I've got that, then I'll bring in my floral panel, hold my designer series paper so it stays on those lines, and I'm just gonna make these two panels one panel using those horizontal and vertical lines to make sure that it's nice and straight. See, now it's the same width from top to bottom, and it's nice and straight. Grid paper is handy for that. We'll burnish those together and then add more snail. I love stamping with the grid paper. All right, bringing in my card base. Wow, we're almost done here, you guys. These were nice quick cards. All right, inside the card, we're gonna use some snail adhesive. Don't mind the mess on the other side of the paper. There's two sides to every paper. And let's get that guy centered inside the card. I'm gonna try to decorate more of the insides. Maybe not quite this decorated, but craft fair When I do craft fairs, people always ask, is there sentiment inside the card? And I usually leave them as note cards because I like to write inside my cards. But people at craft fairs really want to have those inside greetings. So you'll see more of that from me as I'm crafting for the season here. All right, we need some Stampin' Dimensionals. We're just going to add, I got 3 minis for the back of here. I don't like saggy middles, so I'm going to put kind of a cross in a triangle pattern. All right, let's get this banner on here and bring the rest of these cards in. Snug it almost up to the bow there, but I want the greeting to kind of peek over that designer series paper. There's our with Sympathy. All right, let me do this too. I'm gonna bring my grid paper back in, and I'm gonna write down this host code in case anybody is interested in taking me up on my special offer. So the host code right now is 6YQE 7D V like Victor 4. Any orders placed this weekend until 10 p.m. Central Time, or excuse me, midnight Central Time on Sunday will receive, if your order is over $50, will receive one of each of these cards. So the With Sympathy that we just made, always thinking of you. The insides are done too. And happy birthday as my thank you gift for your orders. Any order will help me reach my goal of making a Stampin' Up! Incentive trip to for this calendar year. And there we go. All right. If you've got any questions about anything crafty, you should reach out, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. If you order a paper sampler or the ribbon sampler or both, I'll send you these cards too. Rhonda loves the offer, and having them on hand for inspiration is so great. I know they're beautiful when you see them, but when you see them in person, they're even more beautiful. That's what it is about cards and paper crafts. Trying to capture the true beauty of them in photography is hard. Kay says, yes, the real copies are great for inspiration. I agree. And so any order, if you order the Painted Harvest, if it's $50 or more, I'll send you all 3 cards. All right. Do you guys have any questions about anything, about the offer, about the paper samplers, about the new colors? Anything I can do to help you stay crafty? Thank you guys so much for watching today and giving me part of your Friday. Oh, do you want to see some of the other things? I said it was gray, and I've been crafting. I'll show you some of the things that I've got coming up. You guys want to see some of the class samples and stuff? Okay. They're on bulletin, or they're on boards behind me, and so I just pulled them down. These are some of the classes that are coming up. So on the 28th of June, in my home studio, we're doing paper and ink cards. And paper and ink cards is 4 cards. It's $15 or it's free with an order. And I've got 3 of those 4 cards designed. I'm hoping to get the other one done today. So here we're going to make Enjoy Your Special Day, featuring the Pop of Petals bundle with the new 4-petal flower punch. Love it. We're going to make this pretty little hello card. And this one's features the new subtle texture embossing folder. Do you guys see the subtle texture on there? And the varied vases bundle with the vase builder punch. And this one, I got to take this one out of the clear plastic so you can see. We're going to make this beautiful die cut inlay card. So that's 3 of the 4. If you're available to stamp with me in my Rolling Meadows home studio on June 28th, you can shoot me an email, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. There's still some seats available, and I'd love to craft with you. So there will be one more card. It's going to be with the Elephant Builder Punch. July 9th in my home studio, and then in August on the online classroom, we're going to be doing the Animal Expedition product class. This one will be, you can RSVP now for in-person, and it's $30. You can pay with PayPal in advance. The product class is going to include a full package of the Animal Expedition Designer Series paper. So this is my 6x6 sample book, but you'll get a full 12x12 package. And it also includes a full package of the frame elements, and that's these little guys here. So there's 2 of these sheets in the pack. There's 4 of these sheets in the pack. And you'll get both the embellishment and the paper. And then we'll cut up your paper according to the Wonder Recipe number 4 and make these 6 cards. So here's the first design that the Wonder Recipe makes. We'll make 2 of these. And then we'll make 2 of these. See how we're using that Animal Expedition Designer Series paper, a little bit out of the box way, and the elements. So we'll make 2 of those. This class will be open for registration after July 9th if you want to take it online. Registration will open that week if you want to take it online. If you want to take it here, just email me, marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. Class is $30. And you get all the product and the 6 cards. So that's what I've been working on in this gray weather. It does lift the spirits to stamp, doesn't it? All right, there's that host code one more time. And the cards one more time. Gina says, darling. Thank you, Gina. And always thinking of you and with sympathy. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to go get something to eat. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you've got questions, reach out, please. Email me, marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.